This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Darcy Stanfill and Stargazer to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, truly appreciate it and could not do this without you. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 27 of Knife of Dreams.
Yeah, Chapter 27 is a plain wooden box.
Oh my god, and you know around here we're very, very suspicious of boxes.
We should be. We
are
should be.
Very concerned when we see that as a chapter title.
Because, you know, it's not the box itself.
No,
it's
what's inside the box. I know.
It's so good. It's so good. This is actually, I might as well just say it now, this is my favorite chapter of the book. We made it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even tell you ahead of time.
I know. I was really happy that you didn't tell me because I would have been on guard for what happened, and I was absolutely not, because we have had such a slow burn, such a slow build up to this point, and it really comes out of nowhere, and I had to read it again and be like, wait, what am I reading? What's happening right now?
We've been talking about every time it's like Rand is meeting with the daughter of the Nine Moons in 3 days, and you're like, but she's with Matt still. How could this be happening? Well, I guess we find out how that can be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of indicators.
There's a lot, and I have to say, your favorite chapter, I did not like it.
Oh yeah,
I hate it in both perspectives. So we have two pretty great perspectives.
Which is, I love it not just because of Rand. I love Matt's perspective.
Much too gruesome and brutal for me.
Oh yeah,
I hate that part. I hate the gruesome and the brutality. It was just like, oh my god, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
you know, just so descriptive and horrible and terrible. And I have to tell you, I was absolutely 0% spoiled on this.
Awesome. Okay.
I had absolutely no idea.
Fantastic.
That we were getting a Luke Skywalker situation.
I love that you said that. Yeah. That's so funny.
Because no, I did not know this one at all. I feel like I have hints about other things.
Well, there's hints, even for example, the fact that in the Rand picture, he's got conveniently his left arm behind his back.
I know, yeah. I know. Those types of things you
just don't pick up on that because who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Good.
This was a shock.
Good. Well, you know what?
It was a shock to Rand too. And I have some criticisms.
Do you?
I have some criticisms for this group.
About the group itself.
I felt like we could have handled this situation better.
Sure.
And been a touch more prepared.
Like the plan itself.
Especially when you know you're walking into a plan and you keep on thinking to yourself over and over about how you know it's a plan.
Right.
Maybe we have some safeguards in place.
Exactly. For the trap.
Maybe. Just
but
maybe.
we've heard since the beginning of the series, if you know it's a trap, can't be a trap, because then you spring the trap and it's not a trap.
Yeah, except that you still don't actually know.
Every time that happens, they always get
They're
caught
always
in the trap.
Oh my god, I'm so surprised that the trap wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
All right, and I do have to say, I want to give a shout out to our patrons who are listening live to this episode recording on Discord. We already had about 20 minutes of a preamble hanging out with them, and now we're getting into it, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay.
So I might as well start us off. And with the fun fact today, it's really funny that you said the Luke Skywalker situation.
Yeah.
Because
Luke Skywalker and Anakin, didn't they?
Can you stop?
Oh,
can you not?
Sorry.
Okay, because that's everything I was gonna say, and that's done. Okay, now.
Oopsie, sorry.
Okay,
because I was like, I thought they both lost hands. Okay.
Here we go. One of the most shocking chapters for me.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, what's up with all the stories? Because it's not just this story. A lot of stories.
This is like a hero's journey.
It's part of the journey.
You gotta lose a limb.
But also specifically hands. Hands are like a thing. So some of the big ones, the classics, Luke Skywalker, for example, loses it in Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader cuts it off. Darth Vader lost his right hand twice.
Oh.
Because...
Well, I was going to ask you, in this series, we don't have robots.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't have robotic hands.
Not yet.
Ooh.
No, we don't have
Let's
robots.
go to the school. Ask an inventor.
Yeah, and maybe in 100 years.
I don't know. Ask Lanfear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, maybe. Also, it doesn't sound like it, but
maybe.
Anyways.
In the Age of Legends, they might have had robotic hands.
They're in like a love-hate relationship where right now she really hates him.
Ask Semirog. She's just giving out information for free.
That's true.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead.
Darth Vader cuts it off to it, and then we have like Jaime Lannister, and we do know the homage between
Jaime Lannister,
right? The two authors, Robert Jordan, George Martin. So they had like a back and forth. So I always like to think that there was a little bit of like a head nod there on the whole, hey, what's up? My guy, your guy? Cool.
Hands chopped off.
Right?
Also, Perrin literally just chopped some guy's hand off a couple chapters ago.
There's a thing about hands. That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing. You might notice that I may have prepared some shots for us.
I did notice. And you poured them in our Dragon Reborn
I thought it was necessary to put them in the Dragon shot glasses because you should have a reference for someone in Harry Potter.
Oh, Peter Pettigrew.
Has to get his hand chopped off. His right hand, in fact, as a sacrifice for Voldemort.
Yes.
Boom. I didn't know that, but I saw it on the internet.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
You're not surprised that I knew that?
No, I assumed you would. But remember when I said, hey, you're going to have a reference?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it.
Can we take that later, or you want to do that now?
I want to do it now, because if you can't tell, I'm kind of sick today with my voice.
Oh, you think that the whiskey's going to help?
It's going to help kill it, yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to do these now.
Okay, so then everyone on Discord...
We got to have a drink for our boy Rand, who loses a hand.
Okay.
And that's not the end of the fun fact, so you're not getting out of it.
Ooh,
that's like the prelude to all the fun fact information.
Okay, well, cheers.
Cheers to Rand finally losing his hand.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, I've been waiting for it for a long time.
Oh, okay. Oh, I banged the mic. Oh my God.
Okay. Let me know when you want to start recording again there.
Okay,
so now that we've had the shot, I got to do a little bit of backstory here on the whole hand situation. So we're going to look a little bit into the Norse mythology. Fits really well with Rand Thor, right? We've done this before. But specifically looking at the god Tyr, Tyr, the god of a few things, including the formalities of war, treaties, and justice. So Tyr sacrifices his right hand, which is severed at the wrist, to the monstrous wolf Fenrir, which is one of the signs of the beginning of the end of times, Ragnarok, and the end of the reign of gods. I have to tell you,
there is a werewolf in Harry Potter named Fenrir. Greyback.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. That's another cool.
Yeah.
So Tyr losing his right hand, which he needs to fight with a sword, is obviously a pretty powerful symbol here. And then also relating to like more modern times, not like ancient Norse, right, mythology. But losing your hand, especially your sword hand, would be like a devastating impairment, because if you lose your ability to fight, for many warriors, it's kind of like the entire thing that you do. So a warrior who can't fight isn't really a warrior. So losing your hand means you can't really do anything else, even physical jobs like work in a field or crafting. So in a lot of ways, you're just a burden now. So the hand thing, very powerful for a hero in a journey to go through. Now, in Celtic mythology, there's a king named Nuada the Silver Hand, and it was the first king of the Tuatha De Danann, and in one of the most famous tales, he loses his hand, and thus his kingship, because you can't be a king if you don't have a hand until he's magically healed and given his silver hand.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Now, Tyr, the funny thing about him, also known as Two, which is why we have Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
And Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Yeah, I knew that one. I knew Thursday, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
That's where Tuesday comes from, is Tyr.
Uh-huh. Well, that's good. Do you want to get into this chapter now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. People in the Discord are calling for another shot, and I say no. I say, nay, that was a piggyback.
Right.
You can't do two in the fun fact.
It builds off of each other.
It's the same.
Yeah, sure.
It's 1 for 2, but maybe we'll have some more later.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into chapter 27. A plain wooden box, and the chapter symbol is the dragon. And my mind immediately went to the boxes that the Browns had. What were they called? Specimen boxes.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, I knew these were going to come up. Because I spent way too much time thinking about the stupid specimen boxes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I bet there's going to be something in those.
And you keep saying boxes, but it was like one Brown sister who had her box.
Who had a specimen box, but
Yeah.
it was implied that that's what they
Yeah,
used.
well, she keeps specimens.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I thought it would be a little
scientists do.
Okay. It's not that.
Yeah, no, it's not. Not
so
quite.
We're going to enter in our Rand perspective. And now, honestly, I really need your help here because I cannot for the life of me remember what Rand was doing before we got here.
Okay.
Because I know that he had the summons from...
Yeah, we've been at the cabin.
But then we went somewhere else? Like after the Trolloc attack at the place.
Quick jaunt into the Stone of Tyr.
Stone of Tyr.
Yeah, but it's a little bit confusing because we learned about this meeting being set up, I think, when we were at the cabin, because it's like, in 3 days we're going to meet at this lady's manor house in the middle of Altara.
Right.
Because it's in one of their, like, controlled zones.
Okay.
And then we did it, and then we're, like, kind of bouncing all over the place.
So now we have Rand in Altara.
Yes. Yep.
But he's at the very northern border, right? Like, basically looking into Andor.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. He's just like, and it's literally the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Okay. We also have Perrin in Altara.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And we have Matt in Altara.
Everybody's in Altara.
In the middle
It's
of
the
nowhere.
place to be.
Apparently. But apart?
Yeah.
Together but apart.
It's still a country. Like, it's still big.
I know, but it's like, this world is pretty small. Realistically.
Okay.
Like, they're like literally about to bump into each other.
Well, it's kind of like, hey, I know a guy who lives in Toronto. Like, do you know him?
No,
It's like, no, there's like 11 million people
It
there.
is not. It is not the same.
Same thing.
It is absolutely not. It's more like I know someone who lives in Winnipeg. Yeah, me too. We all do.
Yeah.
It's more like that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so Rand and his whole entourage is on some hilltop in Altara, and they've been waiting here for a couple hours now before it's go time, I guess?
Yeah. It's possible, like, they're waiting to make sure they can travel from certain spaces to other places, right? So.
Okay, we get a recap, and we get that Rand thinks Elaine is in Camelin and safe.
Yeah, right, yep.
And he also thinks about Avienda off in Eridomen with the Wise One.
Yeah.
So that's a new tidbit for us.
Well, and tens of thousands of Aiel, because we do know that Rand sent the Aiel that way, because as part of his plan is, like, if the Shan-Chen truce doesn't go well, he's setting up his armies. He just didn't know that Avienda would be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he refocuses on the meeting that's about to happen today. He's dressed himself all up for this occasion.
Oh, yeah. Looking good.
Oh, looking so good with his crown and his belt and his scepter.
It's a Shan-Chen spear, and he's like, ooh, if she knows it's a Shan-Chen spear, she can be like, what's
She's gonna
up?
know.
And then he doesn't have his gloves on.
Doesn't have gloves on.
Right.
Which is like, would that have helped? Probably no.
No, it would. I got those big fireman gloves. They're like really good. Like the heat resistant kind. Yeah. Shoot. Left those at home today.
Didn't have the fireproof gloves on today, Rand. Okay. What a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like LTT in his head because right now, at the very beginning too, LTT's like, yo, this is a trap, man. And Rand's like, nah.
Okay. So I feel like if people don't know me by now, it's I make jokes when things are terrible.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, yeah, I'm going to feel for Rand, and this is really terrible and awful, but I don't need anybody coming for me telling me I have a cold heart on this one because I'm making some jokes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral, like that kind of
sure.
bare naked ladies stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
All right. So now we know that Rand is going to be meeting the daughter of the Nine Moons today, and I think in my head, okay, like how?
Yeah.
How is this actually going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen today?
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way this is actually Tuon. And I know that, and you know that, and we all know that.
Right, because
but
we know
Rand,
that Tuon's still with Matt, yeah.
But Rand doesn't know that.
Doesn't know that.
And
That's
I was
the
like,
problem.
What if timelines are wonky and this actually is Tuon, and then it's a weird thing? So like, my brain is just spinning at this point while I'm reading.
Totally fair.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Now, Min is here because she got her way into coming along, and Luce Theron is so funny because he thinks that women are super complex.
Yeah, he actually goes into like a spiel about like, women's love is violent, and
sometimes they actually are sorry that they hurt you.
It's so crazy, and Rod's like,
Sounds sane.
Okay.
Sounds sane to me.
Gonna go with that, yep.
Okay, so we have Nandera, who I had previously named Panera Bread.
Right.
But, so that's some maiden. She was like
she's the leader of the
leader
maidens.
of the maidens.
Yeah.
and a bunch of other maidens who are allowed to come to scout because this looks like a trap.
But they want to scout way more, but they're not allowed to scout way more because Rand doesn't want it to come off like they're trying to set up a trap.
Right.
Because he really wants this. The whole theme here is Rand really wants this truce with the Shanshan to go down properly because he is desperate.
I know.
He's so
really
desperate.
wants this to go well.
Yeah.
And I also want this to go well for him. I think that he actually does have a pretty good grasp on the situation.
Yeah.
And I think a truce with the Shanshan, although stomach churning, because I hate the Shanshan, it actually makes the most sense strategy-wise because we can't fight the Shanshan and the Dark One at the same time.
And, like, hypothetically, they could fight the Shanshan first if all the nations of the world were like, hey, Rand, you're the Dragon Reborn? Okay, what do you need, man? Like, we'll help you.
Yeah.
And if everyone just came together and was like, cool, we'll do this with you.
Yeah, but that's not realistic.
I know, but that's why it's like, if that could have happened, then maybe he could fight the Shanshan.
And I mean, like, that's about as realistic as, I don't know, Egwene and Rand communicating effectively.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
no,
right.
of course, never.
Yes. Okay, now we get some other people who are here too.
Olivia's here.
Yep.
She thinks it's a trap.
Right, yep.
Bashir and his men are here.
Yep.
And they think, yep, this is a trap.
For sure a trap, definitely. Like, it looks like a trap, smells like a trap.
Yep.
It's probably a trap.
And Rand is like, if they think we're planning to attack them or kidnap this woman, then this whole truce falls apart.
Right.
And so Rand's like, I have my own army waiting just in case this does turn out to be a trap.
Exactly.
And I'm like, have you heard about what a trap is?
And it's a bigger trap and it's
your
better.
big army is so useless.
Yeah.
If you're in the middle of a trap.
I know.
Like, do you not know what a trap is? Like, ask any mouse.
Right.
Ask any mouse.
Boom.
Doesn't matter if you have a bunch of mice army behind you.
Yeah.
Bunch of mice waiting to help you.
I mean, this analogy is working out really well for you.
The mouse
so
just
you should keep going with it. It's
or
like a mouse, like some sort of mouse trap. Rand is the mouse. Who's the cheese? I don't know.
Oh, the daughter of the 9 moons.
Yeah.
Is the cheese.
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
Big cheese. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, and also, like, a little side note here. So, in between the timelines that we've really seen happen, Olivia, being the former Damani, has filled Rand in on exactly who the daughter of the 9 moons is.
Okay, wait. We're going to go through the gateway, and Olivia's not allowed to come.
Yeah.
Because she go mess it up.
Well, and that's fair, too. Like, yeah, okay. But yeah, she did fill him in like, hey, heir to the Empire, daughter of the Empress. So
this
she's
is
actually
a big
important.
Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, on this hilltop, we have a long list of Aes Sedai and Ashaman who are paired up and bonded.
Yeah, we do. We do have a list.
And I thought about writing down this list.
Sure.
And then I didn't.
Yeah, and that's probably a good call because there are a lot of people who are either new to us or we've heard their names and they're not super relevant. And some of them are
newly paired up.
And there's some stuff going on like, oh, these two were mad at each other at first, but now they're like arm in arm.
And then there's one like Red who is like giggling with a man who can channel because they're bonded now.
Yeah, Janair and Kojima.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and we also have Logain and his two, Tovain and Gabriel.
Yep.
We've got Beldine and Manfor. She was at the cleansing. She was in the hop oil team.
Okay, and Beldine was another bee that I mentioned last time, but it was the wrong
We've
bee.
got Elza, the
Elza.
green black Aja.
Yes.
Right? Who's like super loyal to Rand.
But like sworn to Rand, yeah.
Yeah, and she wants to make sure he gets to the last battle because like how's the Dark One going to win if Rand's not there? So
yeah,
I'm kind of on board with it. She's the one who nuked Deshiva.
Kind of, yep.
Slash Osengar / Aegonor. And Marisa and Narishma, which is also important because they were the ones who were just at Egwene's camp.
Right. I did have a question about that.
Yeah. So they were there, and now clearly they're back from that meeting because we get a little reference to that meeting in this chapter 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed it or forgot about that.
That's fair. It's a really small one.
All right. So Cadsuane and Nynaeve are both here, all decked out in their Terangriel jewelry.
Oh, yeah, like full go time.
Mm-hmm. And then Logain rides up, and he's commanding the Ashaman.
Yes.
So everyone starts moving, and we open a gateway, and we're going to go through.
Right. And we get pretty close, then we're going to walk, right? That's how that goes.
I know.
It's a little bit of a slow burn to the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although it is a pretty good build-up, because I know something is going to happen. Like, I can feel it as I'm reading.
Right.
That this isn't going to let me down.
Because it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And you're
because
like, what's happening?
Either we're going to see Tuon here, and it's going to be very weird and confusing.
Yeah.
Or we're not going to see Tuon, and something crazy is going to happen. Like, those are literally the two choices I had.
I mean, we kind of do see Tuon here, too, because, like, technically she kind of looks
know,
like she is here.
I actually have some questions about, but we'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's actually on this little walk that we get the reference to the Egwene. Well, Egwene wasn't there. The rebel camp meeting.
Yes.
That Egwene was absent from.
Because but that's who they were supposed to talk to.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
now, did anybody tell Narishma that Egwene is currently captured? Like, nobody...
Yeah, I doubted.
Okay.
I doubted. Like,
I didn't think so, but I couldn't remember.
We didn't get anything in that chapter about them being like, oh, by the way, she's kidnapped. It's fine. She doesn't want to be rescued. But anyways, so eventually at some point on this, Rand can feel Logain and the Ashaman like embrace the source. And then he tells Cadsuane and Nynaeve, hey, you guys should also probably embrace
And they're like, we are idiot.
Yeah. But what has happened is that they have...
Inverted
it. She like basically hidden the power, so now Rand can't get the goosebumps on his arms.
No goose pimples.
He doesn't know. And then the little paragraph says that some of the Ashaman are trying to figure out how to duplicate what Nacelle, which is the Aes Sedai that kind of got like rushed into the meeting.
She did the stuff,
remember that. And then they like bustled her out.
Yes.
And you're like, why are you letting this woman in on this meeting? It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So they're trying to imitate like figuring out how to use a weave to detect channeling, even if someone's like hidden the ability.
Yeah. And then Rand's like, the one thing that men have as an advantage is now gone.
Yeah, it's like, okay, buddy.
Rand, relax. Just relax.
I know. But so far, for the record, not successful on figuring that stuff out.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, so we finally get to this manor house, and through this whole walk, what I picked up on was Rand is like, everybody in this countryside is like calm and regular, and if the literal like daughter of the Nine Moons was coming in with a big army and a big everything, all of these people would feel very unsettled. Like everybody in this area would know, and because everybody is so normal over here, then... everything must be fine. No big army is here.
Right.
And I was like, why is that the only option for a trap?
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, okay.
Anyways, it's hard to prepare against the Forsaken, you know? Like, it's really hard.
Well,
really good at stuff, and they're really sneaky.
Maybe like a shield? Could we have had a shield?
How about
in
like,
place?
I know he doesn't want to embrace the source, because Rand is intentionally not embracing the source.
Yeah, could we have done it before?
Maybe.
Like and just held on to it?
Remember
or could literally all these channelers here have... created a shield
around Rand,
around the group, and walked up and chatted.
That'd be cool
with the shield in place.
I'm thinking
because
back to
the shield is defensive. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, that's
Go
okay.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if you remember back a couple books when he was fighting Ravine, there was this one really cool protective bubble that's like you can't use it for a long time, but it's literally impenetrable.
Yeah.
Use like a portion of that.
Just use it
on like the front side of you.
Yeah.
In front, you don't have to make a bubble. Just put it in front of you.
Well, that's my whole point about this whole thing. Yeah. Because he's like, oh, we don't want to come across like we're gonna kidnap or attack or whatever. But it's like a shield is defensive.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make anyone think you're about to attack them. It makes you look like you're worried about an attack.
Yeah,
which is fair.
Plus, women channelers can't see the weaves of male channelers, so just use your Ashaman.
Use the dudes.
Use the guys, and it's like, boom, solved. Problem solved. Anyways.
I know. Oh, good. I'm glad you agree with me. I thought you were going to have some, like, wise-ass comment about how, oh, no way, a shield would never work because...
No. The whole point of this book is that there's always something you could have done better.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20, right?
I know. But when you're like the Dragon Reborn, I don't know. I just don't give him any slack at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, and I actually think this is a really good spot to take a quick break before we get into this meeting.
Yeah, because we're going to get to the manor house next.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, so we're back, and we get to the manor house.
Yes, let's do this.
Okay, no shield in place.
Nothing. We're just walking in.
We're just walking right up to these Suldam and Damani. Okay,
right.
We get that the doors open... and 3 pairs of Suldam and Damani come out.
Yeah, we got a breakdown of like who was allowed to be at this meeting way back when.
Yeah.
So the plan's, still going ahead okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then finally, a small dark woman with a transparent scarf over her face who matches the description of the Daughter of the Nine Moons, comes on out.
It looks like Tuon from what we know of Tuon.
And Rand's like, okay, this is definitely not a trap because she's here. And I'm like, that's also not how traps work.
And you don't even know what the actual Daughter of the Nine Moons look like. Yeah. Like, just what they told you she looks like.
Yeah,
and it's like, that could be a lot. There's so many things here.
It's so bad. It is so terrible.
He wants it to go down well.
I know.
He wants it to be good.
He's too optimistic. That's what I always say about Rand.
He's
eternal optimist, that guy.
I know. Always looking on the brighter side.
Like, quit it.
Nothing can go wrong.
Awful. You gotta sometimes prepare for things to go wrong. All right, so Nynaeve is like, okay, one of them is channeling. I can't see anything, so she's masking it and inverted the weave. But she knows because of her jubles.
Yes, she's got the jubles that say someone's channeling over there, but it's not a lot.
And we can't tell which one it is.
Yeah.
And then Cadsuane says, I can do something about it once we're closer.
Yes.
And now, is this why?
Yeah.
So Cadsuane, like, fucks it up.
Well, she does,
because I'm wondering why it messes up.
Because when she says, when we're closer, I can do something about it, she tosses her cloak back and, like, jangles out her little jubilees in her hair.
Yeah.
And she's got a bunch of Terangirl in her hair, so clearly one of them can, like, disrupt
It wasn't until my
happening.
second read-through that I was like, oh, Cadsuane said she's going to do something about this. Because now this small woman starts to walk forward and flickers into a different woman.
Yeah, when she's like close enough in proximity to Cadsuane, basically, because she's close enough for her jubles, her Terangirl, to affect it.
Ooh,
like that's what's happening here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it like flickers back to the small woman and then back to the tall woman, and it's like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah,
Some
so
kind
Semirog
of illusion.
is using illusion, yeah.
And Cadsuane is affecting it. And I didn't recognize what was going on.
Yes.
So I was like, shouldn't Semirog, of all people, know how to do illusion better than this?
Well, and that's why Semirog's like super surprised, because it flicks to Semirog, her actual, and she looks surprised visibly.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't expect it and like fixes it, but then it like cuts out again.
My first read, I did not know why it was going badly. Yeah. But through the second read, I was like, oh, it's clearly Cadsuane. It's like, I'm going to do something about this.
This would have been devastating if Semirog had have been able to do everything she wanted to do.
Well, I wonder what she wanted to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, we can guess, but...
Yeah. Devastating is a good word. Okay, so when the illusion flickers, it's Luz Theron who informs Rand, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's because of him that Rand knows.
Yeah, Rand's like, it's not my memory that I recognize this person, it's Luz.
Yep.
Turns out it's frickin' Semirog herself.
Boom, she's here.
Boom.
Yeah.
And then so...
It's so good.
Rand and Luz Theron both reach for the source, and Rand is like fighting Luz Theron, and in that time, Semirog flicks her hand, and fire streaks towards him.
Yeah, it does. It goes badly. It's like, this is why you prepare all your defenses.
Yep. And Rand can't leap aside because Min is directly behind him.
Also, let's blame Min because she's the one who was like, I want to come with you.
Yeah.
And if this was a nobody behind him, or just like nobody was behind him, he would have leapt out of the way.
You think so? You think he would have made it in time?
He actively has time to think about the fact that I can't leap out of the way.
I don't think the crowd's gonna like me. I don't think the crowd's gonna like blaming Min on this one.
Oh, I'm gonna blame Min 100%. This is all Min's fault.
I don't like that.
She's always like, I want to come along with you, Rand. And Rand's always like, no. And she's like, yes. And then he's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I know. That's fair. But shields. We could have had a shield up.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of other things we could have done, too.
Okay. Now, he's holding the dragon scepter sword thing. Spear, not sword.
Yeah.
And the world seems to explode in fire.
Right. Because he, like, holds his hand up in front of him to block the fireball.
Uh-huh.
So.
And you know what doesn't work to block fireballs? Your hand.
No gloves.
No gloves.
No gloved hands.
No fireproof gloves.
Yeah.
None of those. Now, he finally comes to and realizes his face is pressed against the damp ground. He can't see very well. He doesn't quite know what's going on. He sees the remains of the dragon scepter on the ground, like in flames, and the crown of swords is off his head.
It's so bad.
And then he realizes he can feel Saidin being channeled, and then he remembers what's going on around him.
Like, I really like this, too, because as soon as he gets awareness, he's like, oh, no, my people are in trouble. Mm-hmm. They need me. And he tries to push himself up, but it doesn't work.
He cannot.
Yeah.
And then he raises his left arm because it's in pain.
Yeah.
And
he tried to push himself up.
He looks at where his hand used to be.
Uh-huh. It's not there anymore.
Now there's no hand.
Yes.
No hand.
All right. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I remember. Like this is one of those scenes, and this is why it's my
like
favorite
visceral,
chapter. You're like, but Rand is like the main.
You know
he's
what
my
it reminds
favorite guy.
me of? That one dream Rand had, where the Murdral had his friends' heads like bloody and dripping around his belt.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember, like, from one of the first books? And it is just so visceral and gruesome that no, it's an image.
Yeah, I get that.
It is an image. And normally I don't visualize very well when I'm reading, and that's why reading this type of stuff is easier for me than watching the kind of stuff. Like,
sure, yeah.
I am the person who hides my eyes during a lot of stuff when I'm watching it, but reading it, I can read way worse stuff than I can watching it.
Right.
But this was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
and this was I love it about Rand though, because he does take like a moment to look and see like, I have no hand, but then he still thinks that I gotta help the people because they need me still.
Yeah.
Like, we can worry about that later if we're gonna worry about it at all.
Yeah. So suddenly though, Min is over top of him and tells him to lie still because he's injured. But now, by the time Rand can actually get to his feet, Semirog is standing stiff with her arms at her side, clearly wrapped up in air and shielded.
Yep.
And one of Min's knives is sticking out from her shoulder.
Love it.
And like trickling blood this whole time.
So Min got a knife into the Force. Like, fantastic.
Good.
We've been talking about Min's knife skills.
Yeah, they're great. And you were just like, Min shouldn't be here.
Well, she shouldn't.
Rude.
The knife probably didn't do anything.
You know, it probably hurts a little.
Yeah. This is one of those scenes.
That's smarts.
It's one of those scenes where I kind of wish we were in a different perspective so I could actually see the battle that happens.
Yeah.
Because Semirog does some damage. We got some dead bodies here.
And we have like a bone sticking out of an arm.
Yeah.
And we have like dead Suldam and Damani.
Yeah.
We have a whole slew of things going on.
I want to see that, but it's because Rand got blasted down.
And we're in his perspective.
Yeah, so I get it. But
no, I kind of like it though, because
it's good too.
I don't like a battle scene that goes on and on and on. And so this is like my kind of battle scene.
Yeah.
Like, let's fast forward and then tell me how it ends.
Right. Okay.
That's for me what I like, actually. So we also get that Nynaeve is going around doing a bunch of healing, and Cadsuane is studying Semirog the same way a brown sister might study an exotic animal.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, are we putting her in a specimen box?
You really want this specimen box. Someone's got to go in another box. I'm just saying.
As long as it's not Rand.
I do love it though, because if you think about like Cadsuane, her legendary life, and she's looking for like the last legendary thing to end her legendary life on.
It's so good.
For sure, she's gonna want to learn from a Forsaken.
She's like, fucking Semirog.
It's like,
I know.
And we get like more of that too.
Yeah, but now all of a sudden, gateways start opening up all around the
Don't worry,
manor
guys.
house.
Rand had a plan. This was his trap he sprung.
It worked.
It's his,
so good.
You know what?
In the nick of time.
Right.
Well,
because like,
battle.
if they weren't all dead by this point, then reinforcements. So like, clearly it worked.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Not great. Probably like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
For this plan.
Clearly, Rand thinks like clearly someone shot the firework symbol into the sky.
Because somebody had to do that.
Yeah, that was the
people.
Things are going bad.
Yeah, that was the signal, the flare gun, right?
Yeah,
so to speak. Yeah, I'm giving this plan 2 out of 10.
Okay. I feel like that's generous.
I know. The fact that we even had that plan in place get some points, and the fact that everyone was like, we should do something about this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Some points. That's about it. That's all we got, though.
Okay.
All right, anyway, gateways are opening up. Asherman and Aes Sedai and warders and maidens are all spilling out of them. And it's like, okay, we're all here. Bashir is here, and he calls for soldiers to, like, search the manor house.
Yeah, that's going to be relevant, like, a little bit when they come out. So.
Yes. Now, I don't want to skip over Nynaeve healing the broken bone that's, like, jutting out of someone's arm.
Oh, well,
I think that's, like, crazy impressive.
Nynaeve doesn't do that.
Who does that?
Sandemir's Aes Sedai does that.
Oh.
And she doesn't know the new weave, so he gets like a jarring heal. So
Nynaeve. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Nynaeve does come up to Rand to look at his arm, and she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's gone.
Sorry.
Can't.
I can do what I can, but
Not getting a hand.
I can't give you your hand
I
back.
don't have my robot hands on me to put onto your new hand.
But what is interesting is the dragon tattoo grows back as much as it can.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool because it's literally a part of him. It's not just like it's just like it speaks a little bit more.
Like if my tattoo gets blasted off my skin,
that's not growing back.
I'm not getting my tattoo back.
Which just makes the dragons on the Aiel, it is magic. It's not just like, oh.
Well, it's metallic. But you think that's not magic? Of course. We know.
Of course it is. Of course.
We know.
But it's pretty cool that it regrows.
Yeah.
Up to like the mane, I think it says, too.
Yeah, we don't get a head, though.
No.
All right, so Nynaeve delves Rand for other injuries and can tell that something's wrong with his eyes, but doesn't want to fix it without learning more about it because we don't want to blind him too.
Right.
Which is fair.
But
and
don't
Rand's
worry.
like, nah, my eyes are fine.
Yeah.
Even though...
It looks like I'm looking through water.
They're not. They're not fine.
It's fine.
They're not fine.
It's like, okay, so we're going to have a no-handed... Can't see good dragon? Like, what's happening? Side wounds are going to kill him too?
Oh, yeah. Because we do have the side wounds, which have opened up and are bleeding.
Yeah.
And now Nynaeve can't even close them up. Can't heal them at all.
Yeah, well, she thought she might be able to do more to heal them than previous, because before they seal them away, but she is able to, like, do a little bit, so...
It's still bleeding, though.
Yeah, but
Still bleeding.
Yeah, she was hoping that she was going to be like, I don't know, now that it's open, I can... clean it out. I don't know. Doesn't work.
Okay.
Nope.
So now Bashir comes up and is like, hey, at least you're alive. I've seen men hurt way worse. And Rand's like, yep. I'll just have to learn the sword all over again, though.
I love this.
Because it's hard to sword fight one-handed.
Gotta learn how to do a bunch of other stuff, too.
Yep, true. And Rand's like, yeah, at least Bashir gets it.
Yeah, he gets it.
And Nynaeve's like, taken aback by this.
Is this where you wanted to, like, rant at the people on how they're handling the trauma that Rand is going through, or?
No, I never wanted to do that.
Oh, okay. I thought at some point you said you wanted to... No? Okay.
No.
That's fine. I love this reaction, and I know it's super unhealthy, but I still love it.
Oh, yeah. And Min's like, he's not in shock.
No.
I can tell. This is just him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost his hand, but there's nothing to do
about it,
can't get it back.
He's left it behind already.
We're done. Like, next thing, he's going to have to relearn the sword.
Yeah.
Sucks, but
and Nynaeve's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're okay. It's okay. You can grieve and you can feel stunned, and that's allowed. And Rand's like, I got no time for that.
Yeah.
I don't have time to grieve my stupid hand.
Hey, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. But I think that maybe later Rand actually might
relearn the sword?
Reflect.
Oh, okay.
And be upset that his hand is gone.
Okay.
But in this moment, I know that Min's like, nah, it's not shock. But like...
Yeah.
Maybe
a little bit of shock still.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll feel bad once we're out of the moment.
Like maybe we don't have any genuine emotions tied to it at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, no, it's not shock. I don't know.
Well, multiple times too, Rand thinks, oh, I can still feel like I should be able to make a fist. It feels like it's still there.
The
but it's
phantom
not.
limb, yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense because
which is probably also, unfortunately, Robert Jordan's experience in war.
Oh, for sure.
Like
and I actually think that in the Matt perspective we're coming up on, we're going to get some like wartime flashbacks almost from that.
Yes.
So we can talk about that when we get there.
Yes. Also, because this was only like, I would say like a medium gruesome for me.
Sure.
Like maybe like a 6.
Yeah.
And the next perspective just takes it over the top.
It's like the description
like
that you're putting into the...
Absolutely. I was like, if it wasn't enough that this happened, like I could get over this.
Yeah.
And then in the same chapter in my same reading, I'm like, oh my God, what is even going on?
It's
too much.
Okay. Now let's get to the good part here.
Okay.
The other good part.
Oh, you mean when Bashir's like, who's that lady?
Who's this woman? No one's explained this to me yet.
Oh, yeah. We're just, this whole time, I actually was thinking, so Semirog's just standing there? So, like, we're really just holding her like this right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's captive.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's shielded and
I know.
she's bound.
And we're all just like, she's just over there.
Yeah.
And then Bashir's like, who's that?
And importantly, it's the Suldam who speaks first.
Because Rand is like, this is actually Semirog. And gives a quick explanation.
Yeah.
And that's what it says. It doesn't even actually explain anything.
Yeah.
It says Rand gives a quick explanation.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still don't get how they knew it was Semirog.
That's the quick... It's Semirog.
Like, I know now. I know now it was Catswain, whatever. But, like, explain to me why she was flickering. Because at first I didn't know.
Right. It's like illusion magic.
Yeah.
And at this point, Robert Jordan's
I was like,
maybe
why was that failing?
Of all the times when he doesn't put more description into something, you're like...
I'm like, how do we know that all of a sudden that was failing, and how did we do that? Like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so one of the Suldam, who is also captive right now...
Yes, yeah.
Is like, that's not Semirog, that's the High Lady's truth speaker.
Anath.
Oh, that's not Anath.
Okay, so Semirog has been posing as Anath.
The whole time?
The truth speaker, who Tuon doesn't really like and isn't really comfortable with, who replaced the old truth speaker, Neferi, who randomly fell down the flight of stairs and died.
Oh.
And Anath, who's described as overzealous in her role and berates and badgers Tuon endlessly. And even Matt was like, this is kind of weird. And it's the same Anath who Winter's Heart...
Wait, Matt?
Matt interacted with Semirog. Yes. And Anath, when he was with... Like, when he was around there, he's like, why is your truth speaker berating you so much?
Oh.
Okay. But also in Winter's Heart...
I don't remember. Okay.
Anath...
Was that in Abu Dar?
Yeah, I think it was in Abu Dar.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, and then in Winter's Heart, Anath mysteriously vanishes from the palace and in Abu Dar, and because she's like on retreat. And then in the prologue of this book, Suroth gets the visit from Semirog, who is like, hey, the Empress is dead, the daughters and sons are dead, the Imperial Court's dead. So literally Anath, who we've met.
Interesting. Is Semirog.
Has been Semirog the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't get that one.
Nope. There's a lot of hints. If you go back and it's like on the reread.
Ooh.
It's so good because it's like, yeah,
I didn't
Semirog.
even get that here.
She's
now
being
because
a total dick
because they call her Anath Dorji.
Yeah.
The High Lady's truth speaker.
Yeah.
And whatever. And I was like, she's just posing as somebody in the court for a while.
Yeah.
Like I literally didn't.
Like literally she's been tied to Tuon.
Even the two reads I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. And
if
then
you didn't just tell me right now, I still wouldn't know.
Yeah, so like that's Anath. So Semirog tells the Suldam like shut up about it, and the Suldam's like you shut up because you're not even like you're the truth speaker. You're nothing.
Yeah.
In the hierarchy of Shanshan culture, she's a Suldam and you're just a dumb truth speaker. Yeah. Like no. So
well, okay. Catswain wants to know though. Hey Rand, are you sure this is Semirog? How do you even know that?
Yeah.
And then Semirog just like rolls her eyes and launches into lecture mode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why does she even bother at this point? Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I like that she explains all of this and it gives us a lot of information.
Yeah.
But if I'm Semirog right now, am I just like volunteering a bunch of information?
Well, yeah. Semirog explains why. She says, why would I deny who I am? I'm Semirog. And she's like proud about it.
Yeah. And she's like, but Rand's insane.
Yeah, but I love Rand's thoughts because it really does explain Semirog and her motivations here because he thinks like even she's been captive before, right, in the Age of Legends, and she's escaped her captivity by terrifying the captors so much that they let her go.
Yeah.
Like she is cool with being she does it's whatever.
Yeah.
She's a she's Semirog.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great. Get her some fork root. Just knock her the fuck out.
How about chop her head off? Like balefire her out of existence.
Balefire her.
Let's just get rid of them.
Honestly,
Last
this is a Forsaken.
Coming. Take them off the...
Right now, why are we not just balefire? That's a really good point.
Take them off the game board.
Because, like, what the fuck are we doing with her right now?
Exactly. You want to learn more? You got to learn more weaves? Is that what we want? More weaves?
No.
No.
But what is interesting is the story that she tells here.
Right. Okay.
The information about Rand being insane.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is Grandel's area of study, and she could explain it better than me, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
She's just rambling, and she goes, Rand's crazy, and sometimes people who hear voices in their heads are hearing the voices of their past lives. Lanfear claimed that Rand knew things from the Age of Legends, things only Lews Therin would know. So clearly Rand is hearing Lews Therin's voice, and it's real. It's a real person's voice, which is even more rare, but the descent into terminal madness can be abrupt and is certain.
Yeah. So are we trusting everything that one of the Forsaken says? Because you always give me crap about believing everything the Forsaken say.
I know. This feels
It seems like you're going to eat it up. There you go. That's what I thought. Okay.
It feels true. I don't know.
There you go.
Because it is. It's what's happening.
Why would the Forsaken lie?
But here's the thing. It's what I predicted. I've predicted that this is really Luz Theron in his head.
Okay.
And it confirms my prediction. So I want it to kind of be true because I want to be right.
Well, here's the thing. They could be real memories, but is it... Okay.
No, Luz Theron is here. It's not just memories. Like, they talk to each other back and forth.
Okay.
Like, it's real. It's real. This isn't just like, oh, the voices of past lives.
So you're taking points based on what Forsaken is saying while she's captive.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Like, do that. That'll be good for you.
I think that it is true, and I think she's saying it to get at Rand and make everyone around Rand very weary of him.
Or just lying to make everyone very weary of Rand.
I think that this is a wild thing to just make up on the spot.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
Because otherwise, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to go with it.
That's what you got to do, yeah.
Am I allowed? Can I just?
You can just go with it.
Can I just, please? Please? Can you just let me? Just let me.
I got to give you time to, like, soak things into, because it's unfair to just spring all the questions on you right now.
All of this has been soaking in. I haven't been able to read the next chapter yet.
I know. Oh, my God. Well, why would you? We haven't even talked about this one.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But no, that's good. So we have Semirhage, and I guess we're keeping her captive for now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Uh-huh. This will go well.
Okay. Well, now...
Yeah, Cadsuane's, she's excited about this.
Yeah. All right, so then we have Cadsuane kind of moving closer to Semirhage, examining.
Well, she was already examining from, like, afar, too.
I know. She's, like, moving in.
Yeah.
And then Semirhage smiles and is like, why should I deny who I am? And the Damane and Suldam are, like, gasping, and one throws up, and they all hate this because they've been thrown off, which is good to know, because at first, when it's like, this is Semirhage, but there are Suldam here with her, I was like, these Suldam and Damane must be dark friends.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's clear they weren't in on it.
No.
Yeah. I'll give them that. Like, it doesn't seem like this is something they would lie about.
No, they were like, oh my God.
Yeah, they thought that it was Tuon who was, like, honoring them and bringing them through the hole in the air. Uh-huh. And then it's like, oh, this is all news to me.
No, okay. But Cadsuane's like, well, I'm Cadsuane, and I look forward to talking with you lots and lots.
Lots and lots and lots. It's
and
like,
good.
God. So we're going to keep her...
Yeah, just blast her head off.
Cool, there you go.
No. And then this is where the Suldam are like, we thought she was the High Lady. Like, definitely no. We didn't know anything about this.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, the Seanchan hate the, like, Forsaken and the Dark One. Like, they're also on the side of the light.
Well, some of them do. Like, just the same as everybody else.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, in the same way. It's not like the Seanchan are all dark friends as a whole entity. So.
I didn't think they were.
I never see. Yeah.
But there are some who are, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Suroth, for example.
Okay, but we do get an explanation of how they even got here in the first place, because they did think they were being honored. They went with Semirhage through a hole in the air in the palace in Abu Dar.
Yes.
So that's how they got directly from Abu Dar to this manor house, and that's why nobody in the countryside was disrupted at all.
Exactly. Yeah,
but
and there's
does look like all of the people in the house didn't make it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we'll learn that as soon as the soldiers come up. But first, we got to decide what we're going to do with these surviving Suldam and Damane.
Right.
And Rand says, we're sending them back. We're sending them back.
Right, because Logain is like, okay, that means there's no Seanchan army rushing towards us here. That's not what's going on. And we are going to send the Suldam and Damane back to Abu Dar.
Yeah.
Because taking these women as prisoners isn't going to help us with our truce. And Nynaeve hates this, and everybody kind of hates this. But Rand is like, I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, and they can pass along the message that I want to actually meet the real Daughter of the Nine Moons.
Right.
Like, that's the real important thing. Rand is pressing towards, I need this meeting to actually happen.
Yeah.
He thought it was happening, but it needs to happen.
Exactly. So now, finally, the soldiers come out of the manor house, and they report back that it's empty, but there's, like, bloodstains.
Oh, yeah, it was a massacre
and
in there.
It was a slaughter.
Yep.
But they did find a box, a plain wooden box.
Boom, chapter 10.
By the front door, and it is full of these Adam.
Yep.
But a bunch of circlets are in there, and it's some sort of black metal, some large, some small, and Rand kind of scoops them up, and Nynaeve gasps.
Oh, no,
oh,
yes.
no.
And this is a real oh, no situation.
This is a real oh, no.
This is very bad.
I said this from the beginning. I said it. You take that thing to the ocean yourself. I said it.
Yeah.
Mark my words, I said.
Yeah. I would simply make a gateway over top of the ocean and then throw it through the gateway.
I don't think at that point they had gateways.
Well, you know.
No, they didn't.
You could do a lot of things at a lot of points.
They should have also just kept them safe themselves.
Sure.
Anyway, okay, so...
Again, there's options.
Rand is like, okay, Nynaeve, you clearly know what these are. Spill the beans.
Yeah.
Tell us. And Nynaeve's like, they're an Adam for men. Aegianan said she was going to throw them in the ocean. And now they gave them to the Seanchan to copy.
Right. And it's like sort of, because we did see what happened.
Yeah, can you remind me? Because Bail Doman at one point was like, this is what happened.
Well, they got stopped by the Seanchan, and they were going to toss him over, but then they were like, oh, what if they're watching? It'll be worse for us, whatever.
And they gave them to him, and...
Suroth got them.
And Bail Doman was like, well, it's not that big a deal, because what are they even going to do with that?
Exactly.
And
but it's like literally Suroth, as a dark friend, gave him the Semirog.
Warning, warning. Danger.
Right.
Not good. So the plan was, obviously, to take Rand and Samashaman captive here.
Everybody. Take everybody captive, because they have the Adam for the women and the men. And it's like everybody.
Yeah.
Semirog was also very confident that she could make it happen.
Yep.
And debatably, if she had had the jump on them, maybe she could have.
Interesting. Yeah.
And like, we're not exactly sure, but like, I'm just thinking if you get one male channel, like if you capture Rand, and you can use him against everybody else too.
Well, because you can detect male channeling if you have one.
Well, and then you have like a hostage situation. Like it's really bad. It deteriorates really quick once you capture Rand.
Right. Yeah. But Rand's like, they're just worried about us capturing their leader. And at no point is Rand like, oh, we should be worried about them capturing our leader. Me.
I'm the Dragon Reborn.
I'm the leader, of course. Like, hello.
Yeah.
Like, at no point, like, yeah, okay, we're all like, it's a trap. Ugh, more Star Wars, that fish head guy.
Right.
It's a trap. But.
It's a trap.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the fact that Rand has literally been kidnapped before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
By Aes Sedai, not even...
Like, what is going on? This is so stupid.
Yeah.
And the fact that anyone would even go along with Rand on this without making him agree to other precautions
Desperation.
is so dumb.
Powerful motivator.
No. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's clear Samurai here thought she was going to be able to capture them. We already talked about that. But now, finally, one of the Suldam demands to know who Rand is.
Yeah, like, who are you to demand a meeting with the Daughter of the Nine Moons?
Right, and he's like, I'm the motherfucking Dragon Reborn, bitch.
And then they throw up more and weep more.
And they're like, oh my god, that's so crazy. I don't know, come on. The throwing up and weeping, like, it's just like...
Yeah.
Out of all of this, it's like, give me a break.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right. Half the chapter done.
Okay. I need a break.
Yeah.
I do actually need to top up my drink, and we need to chat with some Discord friends. So let's do it.
All right.
And we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with a fresh drink and a fresh perspective.
Nice. Okay. You didn't even plan that.
No, I didn't.
That's good.
Yeah. No, that's what wine does for me. It helps. It helps me be very witty. Okay.
But not stay on track.
It does not help me stay on track, so you're going to have to help with that.
Matt perspective. Your favorite character.
You know what? Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
What?
I mean, yeah, I love Matt.
That sounds like Matt's not your number one favorite character.
It's hard to have a number one at this point. Matt is for sure up there.
Who's next? Perrin?
No.
Thought I had you there for a second.
No. I do have to say, Semirog is funny.
Okay.
She's kind of good in this last... I mean, like, she'll start torturing people and be really evil and terrible, and I'll hate her.
Sure.
But in the last perspective, I gotta respect the arrogance.
Yeah, that's fair.
The confidence, like, just the pure confidence she exudes.
It's what you like.
I love a competent, confident character.
Yeah, she wasn't very competent in this one, though.
Well, that was a mistake, but the fact that she still remained confident, even after captured,
it helps.
Like, that's what I absolutely love in a character.
All right.
So, like, she's got to win for me above all the other characters.
Okay.
Last perspective. And Matt is always up there, especially this perspective in his confidence level.
Yeah, well, Tuon feels the same way.
Oh.
She's seen him. She's like,
and
whoa.
I love that. I love that.
Okay.
I love that for
Let's
Matt.
get into it.
And I'm medium for Tuon because I really thought maybe she would change her ways, and she's absolutely never going to change her ways. So now I'm really less about Tuon.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so let's get into it. My favorite character It's Matt. He's sitting on a horse, and he's surrounded by 2,000 of his crossbowmen, and they all have these new fancy crossbows.
Yes.
And it's excellent.
This is a big deal.
It's a huge...
I tried to bring up the whole
huge
implications.
Deal. I know. I always knew it was a big deal.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I highlighted it last time.
You did a good job of highlighting it.
Explain how the cranks work. Yeah, we'll get that again this chapter.
Yeah. So it's getting dark, and the plan is to attack the Shanshan forces in a half dozen places. And Tuon and Selusha are here beside Matt, and Matt thinks Tuon must not be happy about what's going to happen tonight, because they are going to ambush some Shanshan ass.
Yeah, which makes sense, because like Tuon is literally the leader of all these Shanshan, and Matt's going to go and kill a bunch of them.
Doesn't matter.
What are your thoughts on Tuon's thoughts? Is she going to be like actually upset if a bunch of her soldiers get killed, or is she more interested to see Matt and what he can do?
And she also thinks, well, I guess you must not have been very good soldiers. Like, that's her mentality.
Right.
It's like, well, I guess if this is what you're going to do and you're going to ride into, well, then...
You deserve it.
You deserve
it. But
also
also the fact that, like, most of the soldiers aren't even Shanshan.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad, but it's like, you know?
Well, don't fight for the enemy.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Don't swear the oath. Don't. Yeah, there you go.
That's
like, what's
your
the
lesson
alternative?
here,
Sure.
I guess.
It's not good, but it's not good.
None of it's good. Like, war and battles are never good.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real about that. Because...
But I sure want Matt to win.
I mean, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Now, what's also interesting is that Matt isn't keeping the Suldam, who aren't bound by the 3 oaths, here with him, even though he kind of wants to have someone who can channel the power, who's not restricted. Do you
mean like Bethamin and Seta?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So he actually kind of wants to have them, but also doesn't want to have them because he wants the unrestrained channeler.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want the
repercussions
you're also, but you're also at Shanshan.
Yeah.
And are you going to actually turn on your own people when you have to?
Oh yeah, probably no. Yeah. So he does have Teslin here.
Yes.
Who says this plan is going to need a fair amount of luck to work. And then some of Matt's guys are like, don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, we get introduced to this captain, Mandevwin. Gotta just say it for the record. So we get like a little description saying, oh, he's a captain of the band, and he's been with them since the beginning in Kyrian, but this is like the first time we've ever actually met him.
We've ever heard him.
But he's been there since the beginning.
And I do have to say, I really appreciate the Devwin.
Yeah.
Because, the last name Novak can be spelled with a W or a V.
Yeah.
And you never really know. And it's definitely never like Nowak. It's always Novak.
Sure.
But it's whatever culture.
Yeah.
And this doesn't make us guess what the pronunciation is.
Right.
We got it.
Yeah.
VW.
There you go.
Okay. Now, he's like, Lord Matt is lucky. And he goes on a whole spiel about how Matt always wins with his luck.
Yeah, and all the beautiful battles we've been a part of. It's fantastic. Well, because last time, too, they were all like, oh, we got to get into another battle.
Yeah, they really
Matt's
wanted to.
Matt's going to lead us. It's going to be great. We're going to love it.
Yeah. Now, we do get a bit of breakdown of this plan, although a lot of it is a little bit confusing because we're only in Matt's perspective about what's going on.
Yeah, and like he knows the plan, but he's not telling us the plan.
No, he's definitely not telling us.
And we're getting pieces, but we don't actually get the whole thing.
Okay, so some supply camp is being attacked.
Well, okay, so Matt is having he split up all the band and all of his forces, and they're attacking a whole bunch of different locations. And they're going to move and attack and move and attack. And Aludra should have done something, and it's like, that should be going.
And Matt wonders what's keeping Aludra, because some supply camp should be underway, like the attack on them should be underway.
Yeah.
And some of the other attacks should be going in full force by now.
Yes. Yeah, so we kind of get a breakdown here. So
okay.
Basically, Matt's plan is to make the Shanshan supply camp that he's watching for being attacked, call for reinforcements, but also not retreating from the supply camp because he wants to make them think that they can hold out long enough for reinforcements to come, and then the other attacks he's launching are supposed to overwhelm those camps. So he's waiting for the Raken to go up in the air, which is what's going to happen right away. Yeah.
Okay, and that's when 2 green night flowers launch up into the sky, and that's Aludra's part.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's like the warning.
That's the
flare
signal.
gun. Another flare gun.
Yeah.
There we go.
The signal saying, like, the thing that we wanted to happen is happening.
Okay.
Because Matt's relieved.
So it's all very, like, technical.
It is. And the issue with the whole thing is that we don't really get the full plan. So we're just kind of, like, trying to piece together what Matt's plan is as he goes.
Okay. So then Matt tells Vannon it's time to go.
Yeah.
And he takes off on his horse. And then Matt tells the other guy it's time for the soldiers to move.
Yeah. So, and again, this is like the piecing the plan together because we get to see Vannon come back later this chapter. So Aludra sets off the flare saying, yep, the rake-in is launched to go and call reinforcements.
Yep.
Which is what Matt is waiting for. Vannon goes to basically try to lure the reinforcements to Matt to keep tabs on where they are, right? Because that's why we see Vannon coming up later. Mm-hmm. And then he tells, okay, Mandevin, let's move our crossbowmen into position to spring the ambush that's going to happen in a couple hours.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's happening in this chapter.
All right. So while they're riding, Matt looks back at Tuon and he thinks about how he likes the way she looks, even though the other night he tried to kiss her again and she punched him in the side so hard that he thought she broke a rib.
Right.
What if his short ribs?
Yeah. The shorter ribs.
The floating ribs.
Yeah.
Oh, I just cut the mic stand with my elbow trying to touch my floating rib.
Right. It's that one.
Okay, but she did kiss him just before the night started out.
Tonight. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, you tell me.
Okay.
It's all kissy, but then it's all like, I'm going to punch you. So
it's hot and cold.
Right. Okay.
All right. So then Matt spends some time thinking about how the plan he set does require a fair amount of luck, but, good thing he's got a lot of luck.
Yeah. I love it too because an owl flies overhead and here Matt thinks, I bet Tuon sees an omen in that.
Yeah. Like, and then later we get confirmation for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
100, hundo.
Yeah. And you missed so many omens
and
there.
If you think that's the only one, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now about 4 miles past the village, they come to a spot that they've been heading to, and Matt calls out some orders to hobble the horses and feed them because we're staying here for a little bit.
Yeah, so this also is you got to kind of understand the battle tactics he's implementing here for why the people are shocked. So when Matt calls for the horses to be hobbled and all that stuff, the guys kind of look at him, but then do it. And he's like, oh, I'm really happy that they're all going to listen to me and stuff because he's got crossbowmen.
Yeah.
Okay. And the troops that they're going to try to ambush are cavalry, like lancers.
Uh-huh.
And fighting lancers as crossbowmen with no support unit to stand in front of you is basically a no-go because if you're not going to kill them all immediately, then you're going to get ridden down before you can reload your crossbow.
Right.
And I went a whole explanation last episode with you about how big, heavy crossbows are really slow to reload.
Too hard, yeah. Too challenging.
Can't do it, so it's that's bad. So the power of the archery comes in not just the single one-on-one. It's in the swarms and waves of arrows you can fire at the enemy.
Well,
that's
which
where the power
we're going to
from.
see.
Exactly.
We're going to see that.
So when he's telling everyone, no, we're not moving, it's okay, well, we got to win or we're all literally dead.
Dead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's why it's also funny because the crossbowmen are all camouflaged.
In dark greens. And they divide up and head into the treed slopes.
Yeah. But the cavalry, the guys he has, didn't want to give up their shiny breastplates, their shiny armor, because they're, super stuck up.
Uh-huh.
But all the crossbowmen, the soldiers were yeah, I want camouflage because I don't want anyone to see me.
Yeah.
It's
no, fair.
I want to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to settle into position and wait. And while they're waiting, Matt has Tuon, Selusha, and Teslin keep him company.
It's terrible.
And he keeps on trying to tell them to go into the trees because it's cold and windy. And he's these poor precious women are cold out here. But they won't leave. And then
also,
it's a weird thing.
2/3 of them he doesn't particularly care for.
No, he wants them gone. I know. But then suddenly, Teslin speaks up and says, be careful around Jolene. She can be childish sometimes. But you fascinate her, and she will bond you if she can figure out how to convince you to agree. And maybe even if you don't know you're agreeing.
Love it, because who gave that warning to a certain somebody else?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, with Perrin.
Oh, Alana.
Varen warned Fael and Perrin about
Alana. Yes.
And then Fael literally threatened Alana and was I'll kill you if you try to bond him.
Yes.
And then Alana goes and bonds Rand the first opportunity she has.
Well, and Matt in the Saladar camp was approached.
Yep.
I don't remember by whom, but...
Yeah. No, I think there was a few maybe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. So eyes out for Jolene is what you're saying.
Well, probably.
Jolene trying to bond Matt.
Yeah. He's got the terangrial, so, like, I'm not too worried, but...
unless he loses it. Then we're worried.
Sure.
Okay.
You think
I
Matt's
feel like I
losing
should write that down.
That Matt's
Okay, give me a minute. I gotta get my notebook.
Okay.
No, I didn't notice this whole thing about Jolene. Okay, hold on.
Take a break.
Yeah, I gotta write it down. Hold on. Okay, notes taken. Where were we?
All right. Well, Tesla just warned...
Oh, and then Tuon's like, well, she can't have him.
Yeah, exactly.
He belongs to me. And then we got a real Jolene situation. Jolene, please don't steal my man.
Well, it's also not necessarily that nice because Tuon's like, okay, hey, so do you understand me? Tessie, which is Teslin, but that's the nickname.
Yeah.
And you tell Rosie that's the name I intend to give her. You can tell her that too. So it's like Tuon just named Jolene, gave her a Damani name of Rosie, and it was like, you tell Jolene that I'm going to get her, and that's her new name.
Shoot.
So
that's the whole, like...
Not making progress.
Not making progress on the stuff I was hoping Tuon would make progress on.
Right.
Because I almost want to like Tuon, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't like her.
Yeah.
And I know Matt really is starting to like her. And I know he's fated to marry her and garbage, but...
Yeah.
I just... Nope.
Sure.
No.
Sure. Yeah.
No, Matt.
I get it. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
So Matt's like, hey, both of you guys, stop arguing loudly.
Shut it. I don't care.
While we're trying to ambush soldiers.
Yeah.
Not good.
Shut up about it already.
Stop.
Go ahead and shut up about it.
Right.
So Teslin changes the subject and asks Matt what he wants to achieve with these raids and ambushes because it just looks like the Shanshan's gonna hunt him down. Yeah. And Matt's like, I want to get into Andor.
Right.
I want to leave here.
Yeah. So it's like it's slightly more complicated, but it's actually that's
the thing. There's a
thing.
bunch of Shanshan standing in my way in front of the border. I want to get up there and I need to pop the bottle cork.
Yeah. I need to do so much death and destruction.
There's a bottleneck.
That they have to take the forces.
That they have to leave.
Yes.
And I want to ride through and leave.
Because they won't take forces probably from the Ilian border because that's where they want to invade next. That's the info that he's gotten from Tom and Julian. Mm-hmm. So they won't pull troops from there, but they might and probably will pull troops from the Gap that is in the northern Altara area. So they all kind of funnel down.
Right.
So he has not told his plan. This is actually what I really like about Matt. Teslin has asked this question a bunch of times already.
Yeah.
And Matt hasn't told her the plan. He's like, not your business.
Yeah.
But now that the plan is literally being enacted, he's like, okay, now I'll tell you.
Yeah. And they're just like staring at him like, oh, fuck, that's smart.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
It's like, that's a really good plan. Mm-hmm. That's like super strategic. And it's a really funny comparison. Someone had mentioned it in the Discord chat, but it's like the comparison of Rand's plan to Matt's plan.
Oh, night and day.
Oh, it's like Matt puts so much effort.
Because Rand's happened in the day.
Yeah.
And Matt's is happening at night. It's night and day. Get it?
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Okay, so about 2 hours go by, and finally Matt hears the sound of a galloping horse, and Vanning comes into sight. He reports that the enemy lancers are about a mile behind him, and there's about 1,000 more than they expected.
Yeah, so they expected 3,000. There's probably closer to 4,000, and Vanning's been like keeping tabs to make sure they're coming in the right direction.
Yeah, and Teslin tries to make Matt reconsider the plan since they're so outnumbered.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, no, we're good.
Well, it's 4,000 to 2,000 crossbowmen.
Yeah.
Right?
But you know what? We got our new fancy crossbows.
Yeah, we do.
Haven't you heard?
Yep. Well, they maybe don't really understand it yet.
No,
but Matt
they
gets
don't.
it. Yep.
Matt gets it.
Yeah.
And I think that Matt likes that he has men who completely trust him.
This is also really big, too, because Matt, he's been a while since he fought with the band.
Yeah.
And they're all super excited. But it's actually like a really big thing, too, where if the commander knows that his troops are going to do what they're supposed to do, because like a plan isn't going to go very well. Even if you set a great plan, if your troops don't do the plan, then your plan's not going to work because it's not the plan.
Yep.
So go band.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Love it. Gotta love the band of the right hand, man.
Well, yeah, and it's got to be something for Matt actually proving himself and being able to validate that, yeah, I win battles, and it's like, I want to fight for that guy and do what he tells me to do, because that's how we're going to win.
Yeah, I love Matt's mentality towards it all, because even when Mandevin was, like, going off on, like, oh, glorious battles, and he always moves us into perfect positions and never tries to escape battles. And Matt's like, I always try to escape battles because I don't want to die.
Matt, like, no, you don't.
No, he's like, I always try, but they always...
You literally ride into the heart of every battle. You literally, like, killed Couladin.
Well, and he's like, that was only because he didn't want other people to die. He's like, I gotta go warn them. I know, but
that's what I mean, is, like, he literally goes in every single time.
He goes into the burning building?
Yes, every time. Thank you, Swan.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great callback. Oh, fantastic.
God, Swan.
Perfect character. Okay,
got it. Okay, but what I also want to believe is that the majority of these men here actually have never even met Matt before or fought in a battle with him.
That's probably
because of the amount of people who have joined the battle since
so many
band.
Yes, yeah.
Since Matt has been gone. And I have to believe that the ones who have fought with Matt have appreciated him and his leadership so much that they tell these campfire stories and make him out to be this great hero that everyone's so excited to fight for him. And that helps too.
Actually, that's a wonderful take. Yeah. I love that take. That's
I have
really
to
good.
believe that, right?
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
That's a great take.
What a compliment. Oh my God.
No, that's a really good take.
Oh, okay. All right. So
much better than you're like, oh, the Forsaken never lied.
No, I never said they never lied.
No, that's what I say.
Okay.
Okay, let's get to the important thing because there's an owl. There's an owl or something.
Hooty hoo. Hooty hoo.
Wait, how do you know that means it's the cops?
That's an omen.
It's an omen. Okay. Yeah.
Oh
Tuan's reaction is fantastic.
Okay, I know. Okay, so Matt hears an owl hoot twice behind him, and Tuan sighs, and Matt is like, is there an omen in that? And then she's like, finally, you're taking an interest in omens. Of course. An owl hooting twice means someone will die soon.
It's like, and fucking kidding.
Yeah, we literally have 2,000 bowmen.
Yeah. Like we're going to ambush 4,000. So why isn't there 8,000 owls hooting right now?
Like, I know we're making jokes right now, but we're about to slaughter 4,000 fictional people.
Well, probably closer to like 3,500. Because there's going to be some people who get away.
Yeah, and like a bunch laying on the ground moaning and screaming.
Yeah.
This scene did it for me.
Oh, yeah.
I was like not okay. I was like, whoa,
sure
I'm not okay. Like, this wasn't good for me. I didn't like this.
Just like exchange the crossbow bolts for like Robert Jordan as a helicopter gunner.
Ugh.
And like, yeah, I assume that there's a lot of trauma coming through in the writing here.
No.
So, anyways, okay. So yeah, a lot of people are gonna die soon, and then the enemy comes into sight,
and they die.
Well, not yet. They ride directly, basically in the line of fire of Matt's crossbowmen, and he's like, and then they stop. The commander calls a stop.
That's for sure Taviran work.
Yeah, he's like, there's no way. They literally just like lined up in front of my guys.
Perfect.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't have told them to stop better.
Yeah, and so Matt touches Teslin's shoulder lightly and quietly says, now.
It's a mini firework.
And so Teslin channels a mini ball of red floating light high above the road, and then 1,000 crossbow strings snap, and the bolts slam into soldiers, and all chaos breaks out, and it is so graphic and awful.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, go read it, because we're not going to do it justice.
No.
But then
exactly. You know what? That's good. I feel like we should tell people to go read it more often.
Go read it. Like, it's a fantastic scene in, like, a very gruesome way.
Or don't, and believe us that there was a battle.
Hey, but I do love that then Matt watches the crossbowman next to him as he reloads, and it's like a pretty good description on the crossbow.
And the Shanshan commander calls out, get into the trees before they can reload.
And this dude's just like, he hooks the little box crank on from his belt that's like hanging onto the crossbow string, and he pulls the crank, and then he starts cranking it, and it's like click, 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 it reloads, and it's like, boom, another wave, and 2,000 more just slam into everybody.
Yeah, so this new crossbow whatever it's called, really, really, really does its job.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's why when it's like Tuan, when she heard about it, was like, I gotta steal this invention. And now she sees it in action.
Against her people.
Against her. And that's why I think it's like, maybe it doesn't even matter so much that it's her people, just seeing that it's a thing.
Yeah.
Because, again, there's literally like 4,000 troops here. And I think Matt saw that there's maybe like 40 people, 40, in Shanshan gear.
Yeah.
The rest are just like Randlanders who are conquered.
Altarans, he said mostly.
Yeah.
That's what I picked up.
Which is like, wow, but geez.
Well, okay.
Okay. Anyways.
Now, basically, the battle's done.
Yep, that's it.
And
we did it.
It's a gruesome scene. Matt calls out and is like, okay, we gotta go. Because we have about not 1,000. We have about, 10 more of these to do before we get out.
Yeah, we got places to be. We got to go. We're drawing blood from the Shanshin today. So.
And you know what? Teslin says, you must stay and offer aid. The rules of war demand it.
Right.
And Matt's like, yeah, effing right.
Yeah.
Not happening.
New kind of war, yo.
New kind of war. Yep. They'll have to wait for their own to help them.
Because we did see, maybe they'll get help at some point, but.
And honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's actually really interesting too. Interesting because Tuon murmurs.
Lions can have no mercy.
And Matt's confused, obviously, because it's Matt.
But we know last chapter, she was talking about how Matt is a lion.
Right. She's like, he's not a buffoon, he's a lion.
No, and lions look foolish in a horse stall, but on the Great Plains,
yes,
they're pretty majestic.
Like, lions don't give mercy, so
yeah.
Here we go. We're doing this to a bunch more Shanshin because we got to get out. I don't want to be in Altara anymore.
No, so Matt leads the soldiers down a hill and thinks about how in a few hours they'll meet up with men and the attacks keep going and they're going to hit a bunch more Shanshin before sunrise.
Here we go. Super effective. He just killed, 3,000-4,000 troops, basically no casualties for his own guys. That's
something
unheard of.
That is for sure something. It's a victory for our team for sure. And I have to say, this chapter was like a doozy.
Yes.
A big one.
Favorite chapter of the book.
I can see why.
Yeah.
I can see why you like it.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer chapter.
It's a game changer chapter. And we're really, I'm hoping, moving in a exciting direction. Because I feel like we've lacked some excitement.
Okay.
And now we're chapter 27. That feels pretty far along in a book to finally be getting some real good action,
Well, it's the last 10 chapters of the book.
It better be. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of RJ on.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously very significant. Rand loses his frickin' hand.
Yes.
So.
Don't forget that.
I'm just shocked at myself for not even remotely having anything about that. That's a big spoiler that easily I could have known,
Sure, yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Did not.
Well, we even went to JordanCon this year, and I don't think I saw any Rand costumes or
where Rand doesn't
missing
have a hand.
any people. There's things you could do to make it look that way.
Yes.
But I didn't see anything like that.
No.
So I was pretty.
Now
grateful
you're
for
giving
that.
people ideas.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're past the point now, so do it.
No, I know we are. I know, but I'm just worried for all the other first-time readers,
right? Who
go to JordanCon now.
Which, speaking of which,
yeah,
we're going to JordanCon.
We got our membership and we got our hotel booked. We just need flights, which we'll deal with probably in the new year.
Yeah.
But yeah, April 2024. Come see us at JordanCon.
Yes.
We'd love to meet you. Last time was a blast. We loved taking shots with new friendly faces and meeting some fans, and I don't know, we had a great time.
Yeah.
So if you can make it, come out and see us.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You get one chapter again, though.
One chapter coming up next.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I don't know. This is good. Okay, so before you go ahead and almost break a rib trying to steal a kiss, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted, edited, and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Eric Reed, and Colby T. With music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. All that and more can be found at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us because of algorithms and all that fancy stuff. And be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the very best compliment you can give us. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.